I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Madison Solid Rock 94.1 JJO. I'm Brock, and my guest for JJO Discover New Music is Poppy, and the new release, Negative Spaces, is what we're highlighting this week on Discover New Music.
I need a new way. Give me a new way.
Hi, Poppy.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good, good. Well, hey, I appreciate the time. I'm excited to chat with you. So if you are ready, let's discuss new music here on Discover New Music. And Poppy, if you don't mind, I do want to start off by, I guess, maybe complimenting you and also admitting that I'm a little intimidated at this point, and I'm not pandering to my audience here, but it's quite intimidating for an interviewer because there's so much interesting stuff to talk about. So I'll do my best to keep up creatively with these questions with you. Let's start with this, because I think it'll lead nicely into your new album. Again, you have an insanely diverse library, but since 2018-ish, it seems like you've really found your groove along this heavier avenue. Grammy nominations, obviously, collaborations with genre artists like Bad Omens, Knock Loose that we've seen great success with. So was this heavy side of Poppy just always kind of bubbling under the surface, and now we're seeing it full steam ahead?
I knew it was always coming, and I'd say the first go-rounds with the first couple of albums I released were more of a sound bed to what I was creating visually at that time. Mm-hmm. But it seems from Disagree onward, the kind of experimenting that was happening seemed quite natural. And then, of course, when I met Jordan and we started working on Negative Spaces together, it seemed quite synergetic.
Well, and I think everyone would agree with that, especially the critics out there and fans alike that are getting that first taste of Poppy on this metal side, this rock side. Again, I hate putting labels on things, especially for someone like you who has basically defied every kind of possible label that someone could put you on. And now seeing this with Negative Spaces and this heavier side, you mentioned Jordan that you worked with. Obviously, Jordan Fish, most know him from his many years with Bring Me the Horizon. You worked with him on this album. Let's talk about that with Negative Spaces and what he brought to the table production-wise to help you get the sound that you were really looking for and trying to hone in on with Negative Spaces.
Yeah, I years back toured with Bring Me, and we met real briefly then, and then beyond that, just kind of stayed in touch over the years. But the first session that we did in the studio was for New Way Out, and it seemed quite clear that we had to keep going. So I took off on tour, and then when I came back, we really spent about a month and a half, 2 months finishing the record, and it became what you hear now. And there's a lot that we have been working on together since then, even since completing Negative Spaces.
And, you know, you mentioned, too, in with Jordan and Negative Spaces and everything kind of just falling into place, this kind of copacetic, harmonious partnership. Working with someone like that, especially in the experience that he has, did it find that it pushed you to maybe take some more chances on this heavier side creatively? Maybe talk about that creatively.
I feel like it certainly pushed me into new avenues that I'd yet to explore vocally, and also inspiration-wise. Yeah. And he's an artist and such a great producer, but his experience on the road and making music in a live setting, that's always something that we talk about and consider when we're in the studio. Right. So that's another thing I'm very excited about, is being on tour and getting to play this record.
And we've seen you out there and about. You've been out with some big names, 30 Seconds to Mars, Avenged Sevenfold, get in front of new fans or people that are experiencing you for the first time, which is very exciting, and super excited for you and what's to come. I do want to know, is there anything that stood out? Because this isn't your first rodeo, is sixth album that we've seen. Is there anything, though, that maybe stood out with Negative Spaces compared to previous works?
I feel like the albums that I've had the most fun making were always the ones that were received well. It just felt like between Steve and Jordan and I getting together in a room, it was just being around our friends. And when that wall of, any sort of foreign ground is taken away, like that dance that you do when you first meet somebody, not having to deal with that and just get into the music, it creates a different atmosphere.
Well, whatever atmosphere you guys had, it was electric. And again, Negative Spaces, it was dropped November of 2024. So we've had it now. People are really diving into it. It's just working, and we're really excited to see what's next. And we'll touch on that in a little bit as we're enjoying the current space. I know you're going to be spending time with Negative Spaces out on the road, making sure people hear it. I asked this question, and I've kind of tweaked it a little bit, because asking if you have a favorite track is kind of hard, because I know it depends. Is there a track maybe that really stands out to you, that really speaks to you on Negative Spaces?
I would say either Center's Falling Out or New Way Out.
What pulls you into those tracks?
I would say for New Way Out, just the first foray into the record is always very exciting, and for it to be the first one that we wrote and released, and that to be exciting in the set to play live, I think that speaks to me. And also for Sun is Falling Out, it's a bit more rough around the edges, and I feel that one, although I've sung it so far in the studio, we haven't played it live yet. It is really fun to sing.
Is that maybe something we're going to hear live soon? Is there any tease you can give there? Are you planning on busting that one out in the near future or for the live audience?
Yeah, we leave for Australia this weekend, and it is a part of the set.
Awesome. Well, people down under are in for a treat. Bring it back to the States for us so we don't have to wait too much longer. Last question, Poppy, before we get into rapid fire, and then I'll get you on because I know you're very busy right now. I know you're enjoying this moment right now. Negative Spaces is out. I guess other than maybe Australia, what's in the future? What can we expect in the near future from Poppy?
The headline tour, They're All Around Us headline tour, takes off in March, and then onward we go out with Baby Metal in Europe and some festivals. So lots of shows coming up this year for 25.
Man, you're getting all over. And Baby Metal, that's going to be a hell of a lineup. Poppy and Baby Metal, people are in for a treat, especially overseas. Well, again, Negative Spaces, it's out now from Poppy. Go check it out. I guarantee you are going to just be on a journey with it of unexpectedness and greatness on there. Before we go, now that we got the important stuff out of the way, this is called Rapid Fire. I do this with everyone. There's no wrong answers. You just go with your gut. Let's start off with something simple, okay? Disco or techno?
Ooh, techno.
The original Wham version or the Limp Bizkit cover of Faith?
Wham.
I see. I knew you were going to say that, and I'm glad you did. That is the better one. I love Limp Bizkit, but we all know that's the better one. New England clam chowder or creamy tomato bisque?
I can't eat either one.
Really? Okay. Chicken noodle soup.
No, I can do lentil soup.
Oh, okay. Lentil soup. Perfect. Well, I'll add that to the list for the next one. What about soaked jeans or damp socks?
Soaked jeans.
Soaked jeans. Going a little bit of chafing, that's fine. Better than a damp toe on a sock. Lastly, Poppy, this is the most important one. Would you rather see Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster?
Loch Ness Monster.
I'll spare you the details, but you might want to look into what scientists have assumed or what they figured the Loch Ness to be. It has to do with a private part on a whale. I'll just leave it with that. You seem very sweet. Yeah, I don't. You seem too sweet for me to really get into it, so I'll let you do your own research on that one. Okay. But Poppy, thank you for humoring me. More importantly, thank you for talking new music again. Poppy, Negative Spaces. It's out now. She's hitting the road, and we hope to see you very soon. Thank you, Poppy, so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Brock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.